Every morning, billions of people ask themselves the same question. What am I going to wear? It's a simple question, but what you wear is not just a matter of personal choice. It's dictated by trends, culture, your pocketbook, and how far you're willing to go to stand out. In a word, it's fashion. Today, I'm going to meet Marilyn Yu of Plutonium Clothing. She's a fashion designer that specializes in custom clothing, wedding gowns, and stage costumes for theater productions. Then, we'll swing by a fashion design institute and glimpse into the world of tomorrow's top designers. So if fashion is your passion, then listen up, because this may be the job for you.
Fashion is important because it makes you who you are.
What you wear, it's what people see about you first.
I think that it's a very creative job. There's nothing better than having your own creativity and your own stamp on something that no one else can dictate what to change, where the button should go.
Creativity, ingenuity, patience, the ability to be self-critical, be open to new changing, ideas, other people's input.
I'm here at Plutonium Clothing, where I'm going to be meeting Marilyn Yu, fashion designer and creator of the Plutonium Clothing line. Marilyn?
John?
Hi.
Come on in.
Hi.
Hi.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
So this is your studio?
It is. Do you want to have a seat?
Sure. Is this how you normally receive your clients first, like in these awesome chairs? You're a fashion designer. What does that entail?
I design clothes for people, mostly special occasion things, so like wedding dresses or party dresses, things like that. And sometimes I do costumes for theater.
Wow. How long have you been doing this?
About 7 years. And I initially started out doing wholesale, which means that I would design lines and then I would take them around to boutiques and sell them. So I did that for several years and I didn't really like that. So now I've been doing custom clothes.
So do you make your clothes yourself or do you have them manufactured somewhere?
Yeah, I make them all here. So when I did wholesale, I would contract out production, but now that I'm doing custom things that are one of a kind, I would rather do it in-house so I can oversee everything and make sure it comes out exactly right.
Is that what a lot of fashion designers do? Like make their own stuff like so that they can have total control over it?
Well, I would say that most fashion designers do a line and sell it that way, and then they have people who work on it. I think it's a little less common to do the custom things, just because there's a lot more work involved, and you can't like mass produce things and get the economies of scale and stuff like that.
So whenever somebody comes in and wants a dress or something made, you design it specifically for them?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I work with them. So before we actually even meet, I like them to start thinking about what they want and like if they have pictures of things that they like. And they don't even have to be of clothes. They're just things so I can get an idea of what their taste is. And so then when we do come together, it's more of a collaborative process because I want to make sure that they're getting something that they want. I mean, everyone's taste is so different.
Yeah.
So.
Cool. So can we see some of your workspace?
Sure.
So is this a mannequin? This is where you put designs on?
This is actually, she's called a dress form.
Dress form.
Which is a little more technical than a mannequin. So she's actually a size 6, you'll see. And you can get them in any size you want. And I used to make my samples all in size 6. So that's why I would need a size 6 dress form.
What is this armor for? Do people order armor to wear out on Sundays?
Yes, they do, actually. It's very popular. This is for a production of Don Quixote, and this is Don Quixote's armor. So this is an overlock machine, and it does a very specific stitch. So if I can, I'll show you what it looks like on your shirt.
You're gonna stitch my clothes?
No, I'm just showing you that it does this kind of stitch. So it has like several threads.
I see,
and and you use it also at the edge to keep things from fraying. And this is a regular machine that most people are familiar with, and it does all sorts of different stitches. It does zigzags and buttons and things like that. So I use that to do buttonholes. Because the main machine that I use, which is over here, is an industrial straight stitch. And so it has a motor that's underneath the table, and it goes much faster than any of the home machines. But the thing is, it only does a straight stitch. It doesn't do the zigzag and it doesn't do the buttonholes. That's why I have the other one.
That's cool.
This one is the one that I usually make patterns from. This is just a heavy stock craft paper. And then the other one I use mostly for cutting fabric. So usually when I start a project, I'll spend some time doing some research and designing things, and then I'll put together drawings for the clients. And I usually, if I'm doing a dress, I usually like to do like 4 or 5 designs that I'll email to them, and then we'll discuss the designs over email and finalize something. And then after we have the design, then I'll make a pattern. And then I'll make a muslin, and the muslin is an inexpensive cotton, which you do a mock-up of the pattern, and that's for fitting purposes. And also so the client will get an idea of what it looks like, because sometimes it's hard for people to visualize, okay, well, what is this drawing gonna look like when it's on me? So then that also helps them, and then I can get feedback from them about the design. So usually there's about 2 or 3 muslin fittings in the process, and then while we're doing those muslin fittings, there's usually like a week or 2 weeks in between each fitting, then we can also discuss fabric. So I have fabrics that I can get wholesale, or if they don't like any of those, then we can go to the fabric store and get something else together. So hopefully by the end of the muslin fittings, we'll have some fabric, and then I'll go ahead and make the final garment, and we'll have 2 or 3 fittings in the final fabric. I have a weekly business networking meeting. I belong to this group, and we meet every Friday, and we exchange referrals for each other.
With their first, Marilyn, would you like to do that first?
This is Marilyn Yu with Plutonium Clothing, and I am your fairy godmother. I work with people to come up with their dream designs for dresses, and then I custom make it for them. So no more having somewhere to go and don't know what to wear. I specialize in special occasion things, so bridal dresses as well as party dresses. You can take a look. So Marilyn Yu, Plutonium Clothing. Sometimes I have special events. So for example, next Monday, there's an event put on by SPUR, the San Francisco Planning and Urban Research Association, and they're doing a program on fashion in the city. So they're having people in the fashion industry talk about what that's like and stuff like that, and how that relates to the city as a whole.
If you want to be a fashion designer, there's no substitute for a solid education. And when would-be trendsetters want to learn, they come to a place like FIDM, the Fashion Institute of Design and Merchandising.
I think fashion generally is all around us. It's in everything that we do. There's style, there's fashion, there's Hollywood. Much of it is a passion for fashion, as we like to use that term. They've been exposed to fashion. They like to put themselves together. They have a lot of innate creativity, and that's one way that they can express that creativity. If you measure success with your name on a label, those are easy. You can count those on several hands. The other measure of success is people who've made a lot of money and or have contributed, obviously, to the betterment of mankind. And we have a lot of graduates who have done that whose names you would never know. But probably some of the names that you would know that have their names on the labels of clothes are people like Monique Lhuillier and Kevin Hall, Randolph Duke, people like that that are our graduates. And they all share a great passion for what they're doing and a commitment to what they're doing. The fashion industry and all creative industries are changing daily. There are many basic paths you can follow. One, of course, is the apparel industry. 2 others are within the entertainment industry is theater and film. Also, the music industry, we have many graduates who are designing for different rock groups and different singers. I think everyone has creativity within themselves. I think sometimes it's not tapped into. Creativity is not only drawing, it's the ability to solve problems, to deal with people on a day in and day out basis. The word commitment is really what the student needs. They need to be committed to their studies. They need to be committed to their own success. They need to believe in themselves, and they need to not take defeat. And a student must be able to put themselves out there, which sometimes is very difficult. As long as they are willing to do that and to continue to do that, and they're true to themselves and they continue with that passion and that commitment, they will be successful.
So, do I get to design something today? Like, can I make a jacket? Because it's
You
kind of
don't
cold.
get to design anything. You're just going to learn how to make something.
Oh, okay. So I can make, like, we're sewing and we're gonna knit, or we're gonna
make
glue.
a tote bag.
A tote bag?
Something simple and functional.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So how do we do that?
I have made a pattern for you already. You are going to...
This is the pattern?
Yes.
So it kind of looks like this. You draw it all on a piece of paper.
Mm-hmm. And then I have different markings to tell you what to do.
Uh-huh.
And I'll explain them to you.
Cool, so this says strap. So this is the strap to the tote bag.
Yep.
And then this is like
And then this is the
numbers.
body of the tote bag.
So is this like inches or something, or this is like the border?
Well, these things are, some of them are notes to myself. So this means that this is 16 inches minus the seam allowance. So the seam allowance is whatever is left over on the inside. So I want you to cut exactly on the line.
Is this straight enough line?
Yeah, it's good.
And then do you use the same scissors to cut the fabric?
No, scissors are actually really important. And your best scissors are for the fabric because you want them to be nice and sharp. And if you cut paper with those scissors, they'll get dull. So I have paper cutting scissors, I have fabric cutting scissors, and I also have thread cutting scissors.
Okay.
So this is our bag. It's gonna end up looking like this.
So it's gonna be a square bag.
It is.
All right, so we're gonna fold this in half, and then where do we get the fabric for this?
We're gonna go to the fabric store and you can pick out your own fabric. So here we are.
Wow, there's a lot of fabric in here. So do you come here for inspiration, or do you have to know exactly what you want to design before you come into the fabric store?
For me, it helps if we have a design first, because otherwise, well, if I'm here with a client, we have to have worked out these things beforehand, unless they're looking for something very specific to work the design around. And then for me personally, it helps because if I just came here and bought all the things that I wanted, then I would have a lot of fabric at home.
Oh, okay. So this is kind of like your storage center in a way. So we're looking for something sturdy. So
Yeah.
this looks pretty sturdy.
Yeah, so I think all the things in this area are good. So we can just look around and I'll suggest things to you. Or if
Okay.
there's things that you like, you can ask me if that would be good.
All right, so we're trying to find form and function.
Well, here's another stripe pattern.
It's cool, but not something that looks like a curtain.
Okay. Oh, there's some paisley. Want some pink paisley, Sean?
Oh, this is cool. It comes in different colors, all right?
Mm-hmm. How about a
Oh,
blue?
it is kind of like corduroy. Oh, I think this is cool. This
Yeah?
would be an awesome bag, I think.
Okay, let's do the paisley.
All right. That one. I like this one. So,
Okay.
all right, so Marilyn put her foot down and we're just gonna go with this brown paisley, my choice, and green, her choice. Is it gonna look good?
I think it'll look funky.
All right, okay, so we have the challenge. We're gonna make it then. So we got this awesome paisley fabric, and then this amazing green.
Okay. Press foot down.
Press your foot down and go.
And back stitch. Back stitch.
Back stitch. Oh.
And go forward. And you're done. So put the needle in the up position. Yeah. Up.
Press your foot up. Snip. Snip.
Yay! Give me your arm.
Damn, look at this. Wow, well, Marilyn, thank you so much for showing me how to design a bag and then also to make it. I think this is a real unique item.
I'm glad you learned how to sew.
Amazing, amazing.
Our goal at FIDM is to surround the student with inspiration everywhere they are. It isn't all about fluff. It's about business, it's about technical skills, and the size of the industry, which is mind-boggling to most parents because they don't realize the size and the scope of it. Also, in the global world that we live in, the apparel business is probably the most global. As I have said to many parents, the clothing that you're wearing might have traveled more miles than you'll ever travel in your life. It is a profession. It's a very highly regarded profession in most of the world, and there's a lot of money to be made in it, which many times gets the dads. I think design and fashion, it's like the infinity sign. And today, you can't separate fashion design from interior design, from graphic design, from industrial design. It's one big continuum. A great designer sees the future of design and has it in many different classifications and many different product lines. You can move from one area into another area, and it's extremely well received by everyone.
It's very comfortable.
Okay, so I'll take it in a little bit. Like 4 inches shorter, so the bottom will be like right here.
Tonight, Marilyn is doing the first fitting of her designs for a stage production of Don Quixote. Designing for the stage has its own set of challenges, but this kind of project allows Marilyn to satisfy her wilder creative aspirations without the restrictions of conventional fashion.
Well, like the pants that the actors are trying on tonight, we had communication about that because we've had pants designed in the past that even though you think they're going to be okay, they end up tearing with all the different movement because we do very physical theater. And this show particularly has a lot of clowning, there's a lot of rolling, there's fighting. And so the way the costumes fit is very important. And we did a lot of talking about how they were going to work, and she's paid close attention to that in her design. The thing I appreciate about Marilyn is that she gets the work ready on time, and no one's worrying about that. So it was great to have a fitting at this point in the process, and I think for the actors too, it's an important step to be able to see what they're going to look like and feel that. And I think they're having fun with it tonight too.
It's like a Dr. Seuss character. They loved it.
I see fashion becoming stronger and stronger. I think until we live in a clothing optional world, everyone has to have clothing on their back. I think a perfect example of the California lifestyle, which is permeating the world now, is the movement to jeans. I think we'll also go more into the area of performance fabrics, fabrics that are really all year. They breathe in the summer and they keep you warm in the winter. T-shirts, all of the graphics that go on to that, all of the simple California lifestyle is here, it's alive, it's well, and it's thriving. The challenge obstacles in fashion, I think, are the same probably in any industry. You have to pay your dues. You have to go in and be willing to do any job that is there. We encourage students and graduates as they enter their first jobs in their profession to take something that gives them the exposure to a wide variety of different tasks. You can't be very limiting in saying this is the only thing I want to do, because the world is changing much too quickly to limit yourself.
The clothing industry, that's so wide. I mean, you could specialize in so many different things. So figuring out what I wanted to do and what I like doing the most and what's marketable. So originally I started out doing wholesale, but it didn't really fit because I like doing these really high-end specific sorts of things that don't have a huge market. So it was really difficult to do the wholesale. But I'm much happier doing custom things because I know who my client is. I know exactly what they want, figuring out what people want and making it for them. And then I also like doing really intricate things, which tend to be like for fancier things. If you want to go into your own business, there's so many different things you need to learn how to do. Like, it's not just designing and learning how to make things, but it's also like running your own business and being able to do the research and like managing your finances and all that sort of thing. Whereas if you just wanted to work for a design firm, then you may just concentrate on like learning the different techniques and like learning how to design.
Marilyn's clothing offers a blend of unique style and everyday comfort, and it's enabled her to cut out her own place in the fashion world. She plans on expanding the Plutonium clothing line while also continuing to make a name for herself as an innovative and inventive costume designer. Between the cutting, the sewing, the sketching, a fashion designer has a lot on her plate. Not to mention all the research and marketing it takes to sell the final product. Like many other unconventional careers, it takes dedication, commitment, and a little bit of luck to be a successful fashion designer. But if clothing is your thing and fashion is your passion, then consider this. Fashion may not just be what you wear, it could also be your job. I'm Sean Lim, your host, and I'm calling this a job well done.